Just need to start thinking about colors like windbreakers.
I agree with you. Not about the windbreakers, but about the 90s.
Trends that we saw across the board. What were some common ideas that the teachers responded with? Sia.
Intertwining work centers.
So like in the younger age, they talked about the learning centers. So that would be the crossover of that cognitive learning and some play, right? Maybe.
The play was engaging.
It was engaging. So something, if they were playing, they were interested in it. They weren't just being bored. Yeah. Kayla.
We found like the time allotted for play was anywhere between like 45 minutes and an hour in average, but there were some that were obviously like way higher.
So there were some weird ones, right? But mostly about an hour a day is what teachers thought. How about oddities? Some strangenesses. Taylor.
Some people said that they only play like during PE time or during recess time.
So teachers that don't play, right? Cool or not cool? Not cool. You do not want your kid in that class, right? I always think about my classroom as I would want, before I even had kids, if I would want my kid in my classroom, it's a good place to be. If I wouldn't want my kid in my classroom, then we need to fix something, right? Even if it's because of factors out of your control. So I wouldn't want my kid in that classroom where they only get PE for play. Ashley. Oddity.
10 minutes.
10 minutes of play if the weather's good,
Yeah.
right? And the kids are being okay. Thanks. Carrie.
Just the kinds of play. Like it moves from unstructured to kind of structured.
Sometimes teachers talked about like the specific things they did, and some were like, play is just open-ended, no real structure. And light bulb moments. These can be anything that stuck out to you. Melanie.
Well, I was gonna say play is not academic. Somebody said that on
So that was like a weird one, right?
Yeah.
Like play is a non-academic thing. Can it be non-academic? Yeah. Is it always? No. And I'll talk about that in a second. I don't want to get off track. Brittany?
We noticed that the older the grades got, the less time they had to play.
So kind of a trend of less as we grow up. Easy. activities online. If you just search Brain Break, teachers have activities or videos. We used to do Just Dance videos. Our favorite one was Why Did the Fox Say? And I got really sick of that song after a while, but they loved it, right? And it was a form of play and physical movement, which this table just talked about. They have PE, and they've been learning that helps your cognitive ability. So there's all kinds of bonuses. One more light bulb. Caitlin.
I think one teacher put like how they don't even have time for play.
That was the 10-minute teacher, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about just our teachers' responses overall. Do all the teachers understand play in the way that we've come to understand play? No, some of them think it's only that unstructured time. It can only be when they get to play and do whatever they want. It's at recess. That is not the only option for play. So I want you to frame these answers with the understanding that they may not be incorporating their classroom games or their classroom activities that are play, because they're not defining it the way that we have defined it. So yes, these answers seem a bit stark as far as how much play kids get, but I would guess that most of these teachers are incorporating, even the one that said there's 10 minutes, incorporating more play throughout the day that they're just not recognizing as play. It's interactive games, it's interactive learning, but they're not qualifying it in that manner. Does that make sense? Any questions or comments or anything else to add before we move on?
So I'm assuming that all these teachers at some point had to learn what we're learning,
Actually, no. This is a new class the last few years.
but they never learned anything about playing and.
Not specifically. I mean, you learn throughout as you're going what's developmentally appropriate for different grade levels, and maybe they talked about the games they would play. They probably didn't define it as play and learn about the benefits of play the way we have. This class is actually a substitute for children's music. There was a point in the span of things that there were not enough sections of children's music, and so they created a class that they thought would be absolutely beneficial. And I have actually argued that even though there are enough sections of children's music now, that this class is really an excellent thing for people in our realm, because we'll incorporate music later, but we get to learn all kinds of things to use in the classroom. So yeah, not everyone has learned it this way, so they might not be qualifying it this way, even though they're doing it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I don't think that some teachers realize how important play actually is until like you become a parent and you say, well, if that was my kid, I would want them to play.
Well, and they've all learned the developmental stuff, right? What's appropriate for this age and what helps kids learn, and how play is important. But they've also come through years of being told more academics, cut out the fluff. There used to be a lot more fluff. I'm not saying it was all good, I'm not saying it was all bad. There used to be a lot more play and a lot more fluff, and they've been told to get rid of it. So in that process, some of them haven't preserved those kinds of play mindsets to help them continue it even in the academics.
I feel like at the older grade levels, like standardized testing scares teachers a lot and makes them think, like, things I've noticed is like teachers are like, oh, we have to prepare for the test, so there's no time for that. We have to do academic stuff only. So I think teachers kind of scare themselves out of incorporating it into the.
Yeah, and you can build it together. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive like we've talked. So they're just not seeing that connection, and hopefully we can help grow that a little more.
I guess the thing that kind of worries me a little bit is, say, someone or myself gets a job in a school with a lot of older teachers, and I don't want like play in the classroom and play in my curriculum to be taken as I'm not taking the job seriously, because a lot of these answers seem that they don't think that play should be as incorporated into the classroom as what they're learning in the classroom.
Yeah. So that letter to families that we're writing for Friday, that will actually help you set a frame for defending yourself a bit. You're going to have to, if someone walks in your classroom and you're playing, the first time they're probably not going to say anything. Second time, they might, especially if it's during a reading block or a math block where you're supposed to be doing something that everyone else is doing. We talked about this a little bit over here. If your district has a scripted program and you're supposed to stitch through the script, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can try to get through the script and build it in at the end, but if your district has a scripted program, but you can use the script in your own way, then you can build those play activities in, but you have to be ready with the objectives you're meeting, the play research that proves that this is a good way to meet those objectives. So if someone comes to you and says, I think you guys aren't doing enough of what we're supposed to be doing. You can say, but we are. I'm just doing it this way. So you've got to be prepared. You just have to have your background. And unfortunately, I hate that you guys feel like you're being sent out into an environment where that's not friendly, but it's kind of the way it is in some schools. But it's not always that way. My school was very open. I mean, if you told your principal that he asked, hey, what are you doing? We're playing a game to learn blah, blah, blah. Cool. Sit down and play with the kids. But they're not all that way, and it's just going to be up to the individual situation how you have to prepare yourself to be ready to justify what you're doing.
The teacher that I interviewed, like her exact words were, it's not our job. Well, she's like, it's not my job to give the kids time to play. It's my job to teach them what they need to learn. I mean, I can understand what she means, but then again, like, you can do both and incorporate.
Yes,
Like,
you can do both. And was she an older teacher?
mm-hmm.
She's been there a long time. And have family lives changed in that period, that span of time? Do kids get to go home and play the way they used to? They don't. So she's not moved with the times to incorporate more of that into her classroom. And way back in the day, it was all academics because they went home and they hung out and they played and they got their time. But it's all shifted, and so we have to shift too. And unfortunately, some of us aren't going. Anybody else?
We noticed on the trend that a lot of them get excited after physical.
Yeah, it can only be recess, it can only be PE, and yeah, they're just not defining it the way that we've learned to define it. Like I said, not all those answers are valid because they probably are playing a little bit more than we talk about some games or something. All right. All right, so we have a couple of things to talk about. We have an assignment for Friday, but I swear it's quick and easy. We're going to find a play activity using some online resources or the Web 2.0 activities listed in your textbook. And I'm going to pull up the activity first, and then I've created us a class website. I love Canvas. I do. I think it's an excellent tool to deliver course content. But can you access Canvas when you leave me? You're done with Pitt State. Can you access Canvas? No. Can you get to all the cool activities that we've shared in class? If we shared them on discussion boards or in groups? No. So I've created a class website to do that. It'll be a resource for you guys now and later. But first we'll look at the assignment. Is that one? It's due Friday. It will be something you submit and also bring with you so we can talk about it. So it's Web 2.0, playing games. And it tells you about chapters 82 and 83. I want you to use those pages, and I'll show you there's some things on the website too. And just find an activity that could be appropriate for whatever grade level you choose. So do a title activity, the web address you got it from, what grade level you got it from, and the only thing you're really going to have to work at all is find what standard that supports. So the Common Core, Math standards, and English standards are loaded. Look through those, or if you think it supports a science standard or a social studies standard, you just have to tell me what standard, what area it supports, and then justify it. How are they learning that in your activity? This is another practice for in your classroom when you're playing. Someone says, what are you doing? We're going to use these and build on these and actually build a lesson out of them next. But just for Friday, all you have to have is an activity, the web address, the grade level, what standard it supports, and how it supports that standard. I was going to drop the website in there, but I guess I didn't. The letters due Friday. Yep. So our class website is just a Google site. And I will post that web address in the assignment. I'm sorry, I thought I did that. So it's sites.google.com/site/EDUC321 fall 2014. On the side I've loaded some things. Some things are for things to come. The specific one we're going to look at right now, I'm not sure it's cut up. Play resources and activities. There's a website on unstructured play, a play-based preschool with lots of activities. Pinterest is awesome if you know what you want to be practicing, addition facts or capitals. There's probably something easy to find on Pinterest for your kids to do. And then children's play and learning activities from the National Association for the Education of Young Children is also listed. At the bottom, I've actually loaded PDF files of the pages. So you can just click on those and you don't even have to go back to your book if you want to find what the book has to offer. So that's your Friday assignment in addition to the letter, the family letter. When we come Friday, we're going to share those with our groups and then we're going to kind of build on it and create an actual lesson plan. So, questions, concerns? Make sense? Just submit it on Canvas and you can just you can bring your laptop with you to share it if you want, or you can bring a printed copy, however you want to share it with your group. So you're just going to have to share it with your group and then you guys are going to have to pick one and we're going to do something else. I wouldn't cite something in your letter because it's going to be the parents and do they want to know where your research came from? Probably not. Yeah, research will say or research had shown. I wouldn't worry about citing for that letter because it's a product I'd like you to be able to just take and revise and use eventually. All right, done. You guys ready? You want to just
You said that it's probably going to be a group activity, right? What I'm missing. So I just talked to one of the girls in my group, and so we can just, is it in like, okay.
You said you're gonna put the website up.
Yes, I just loaded it into that assignment.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Nope, I took that out. So you're fine.
Okay.
It's not shareable.
Okay.
So just
Let it go.
Canvas
Okay.
and then all
Okay.
that good.
Awesome. And if we don't use, if we use the book and not the web